of the sample on the stained side of the rock?
So in our report, we would have all of this information. There's usually a conclusion statement that is a summary of all of the information above it. It would be these DNA results are approximately 1 trillion times more likely if Arielle Konig is the contributor than if one unknown individual is the contributor. So this provides very strong support for inclusion.
Okay. Have we gone through everything on this specific result for this sample so far?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. I'm going to take Exhibit 141 down for now. And I'm going to prepare Exhibit 142. I'm going to show it to defense counsel.
Thank you.
I'm going to publish State's Exhibit 142. Okay, Mr. Henderson, first of all, which sample are we talking about here?
So as you can observe from the top header, this would be also from the rock sample 2 of 2. It appears to be swabbing from an unstained area. And the unique identifier in this case would be 2105230A Q1.
Okay. Can you walk us through the assumed number of contributors?
So compared to the previous table, or in this case, the assumed number of contributors is 2. So when we input the profile into StarMix, give the StarMix the mixture that we obtain, we tell it this is how many contributors we think were in the mixture. So it'll do the interpretation under the assumption of 2 contributors. In this case, also, we didn't have any assumed contributors, so that would be none. And because the number of contributors is 2, the scenarios change a bit. So the POI and 1 unknown individual contributed DNA. And for scenario 2 would be 2 unknown individuals contributed DNA.
Okay. And then could you walk us through the results of this with regards to person of interest, Arielle Konig?
So if you look at that very top, that first row, so what that means is the DNA results are approximately 1 trillion times more likely if Arielle Konig and 1 unknown individual are the contributors, and if 2 unknown individuals are the contributors. And this provides very strong support for inclusion.
Okay. And then can you walk us through the results with regard to person of interest number 2, Gerhardt Konig?
So separately from the comparison to Arielle Konig, we did a comparison to Gerhardt Konig. So even though they're kind of next to each other, the comparison in this case is just for that one reference sample, Gerhardt Konig. And so kind of reading across, the DNA results are approximately 290 times more likely if Gerhardt Konig and 1 unknown individual contributed DNA than if 2 unknown individuals contributed DNA. This provides moderate support for inclusion.
Okay, and you made a point that, at least at this page of the chart, we're looking at each of these conclusions was reached separately. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Did you do any other analysis together?
So we have, based on our SOPs, if we have a situation where there is 2 inclusions, inclusionary LRs, we would run them both as contributors at the same time, which we typically refer to as grouped comparisons.
Okay.
StarMix allows for this type of proposition.
And do the HBD SOPs also allow for this type of proposition?
Yes.
Okay, and were grouped comparisons included in the validation studies you mentioned earlier?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I'm going to take page 1 of Exhibit 142 down before I'm going to publish page 2. I'm going to show this.
Show me right here. Oh, yes, no problem. Thank you.
All right, publishing page 2 of States Exhibit 142. Okay. We're talking about grouped comparisons. Is this the result of your group comparison for this same sample we're talking about, the unstained area of the rock?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, could you explain to us what the results of that were?
So the assumptions are the same, but for this, there's just one LR that was calculated, and the proposition for this is that the POIs, so Arielle and Gerhardt Konig, contributed DNA versus 2 unknown unrelated individuals contributed DNA. The results for this are, the DNA results are approximately 1 trillion times more likely if Arielle Konig and Gerhardt Konig are the contributors of the DNA than if 2 unknown unrelated individuals are the contributors of the DNA. This provides very strong support for inclusion. We also provide a statement because the LRs from the individual comparisons had different levels of support. We kind of caveat this statement to say that you have to consider that the individual LRs were different than each other in terms of the level of support, and so you need to be aware of that when you look at this particular LR for group comparisons.
Thank you for the caveat as well. I'm going to take States Exhibit 142 down. Okay. And I'm going to prepare Exhibit 143. While I'm preparing, can you explain what sample that States Exhibit 143 is referencing?
This appears to be white with brown stripes t-shirt. Sample 1 of 6. Stain on the exterior right armpit. Is that the correct
Yes.
exhibit?
If you need the sticker, it's on the back of the paper
okay.
as well, as I refer to exhibits.
Thank you.
Thank you. Showing to Defense Counsel 143 before publishing.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Henderson, we're going to show you on the screen States Exhibit 143. Okay. Now, as you said before, this is the white with brown striped T-shirt, right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay.